Hi y'all, welcome to Ken's Kitchen. If you're new here, welcome and thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make chicken and rice soup. If you follow me on Instagram, then you probably saw the little 30-second snippet I posted of me making this. And today I'm going to just go into detail and show you guys how to make the full recipe with measurements and all that good stuff. So if you are interested, stay tuned and we're going to get right into this recipe. All right, y'all, now let's get right into these ingredients. Starting with our seasonings, we have Kinder's roasted chicken seasoning. If you don't have this seasoning, y'all, it is fine. You can replace it with any chicken seasoning you might have, or Tony's Creole. It's not a big deal. You don't have to hop up and go to the store and get this. Then here, I think, is the cayenne pepper, paprika, onion powder, garlic salt, parsley, and oregano. Then we're also going to need some olive oil. And then I have 2 containers of chicken broth here. And the only rice that I use, jasmine rice, and this is the brand that I use. And then we have cream of chicken and herbs. If you want to use regular cream of chicken, that is fine. Then you're going to need 1 tablespoon of butter or 2 tablespoons. Here I have some minced garlic. This is the brand I use. You're also going to need some bay leaves. You're going to need, I'm all over the place. Then we're going to need some celery stalks. I'm using 3. An onion. I probably won't use this whole thing, probably half of it or a little over half. And then I'm going to be using half of this green bell pepper. And then this carrot, I know it's not the prettiest, but I'm gonna, take off the outside and cut it up and make it pretty. And then of course, to start the show, I have 3 large chicken breasts, which I have washed and patted dry already. Make sure when you are about to cook your chicken or steak or whatever you're cooking, make sure you pat it dry after you clean it, okay? All right, y'all, that is it for our ingredients, and now we can get started on making this recipe. All right, y'all, so to start, we are going to prep our ingredients, and this is just going to make this whole cooking process much easier. We're going to chop our vegetables, make seasoning blends, season our chicken, all of that good stuff. Here you see me chopping up my celery stalks. I only use 3. You can use more or less. Now I'm going to be dicing up my onion. I'm only using half of this, and this is a yellow onion. Now I am going to dice up my bell pepper. I'm only using half. You can also cut your vegetables to whatever size you like. And if you don't have a green bell pepper, that is fine. Use whatever color you have. Now I am going to be taking my peeler and removing the outside of my carrot. This was not the prettiest carrot, so I had to give it a little facelift. And now you see me chopping up my carrot. You can buy carrots that are already chopped. You can buy onions and bell peppers that are already chopped. Whatever you need to do to make this easier for you. If you don't feel like doing all of this, that is fine. Now we're going to set this aside in a bowl so that we can season our chicken. I already cleaned my chicken. I use paper towels to pat it dry. And the first seasoning I'm going in with is my Kinder's roasted chicken seasoning. And I'm going to be adding 2 teaspoons of this. Next up is garlic pepper seasoning. I'm using 1/2 teaspoon. You can use regular pepper if you do not have garlic pepper. Onion powder, 1 teaspoon. And of course, after onion powder, we're going in with garlic powder, the dynamic duo. We're going to be adding 1 teaspoon of garlic powder as well. Paprika, which is going to give it a nice color. 1 tablespoon. Sorry, not tablespoon, teaspoon. And I'm going to just add a little bit of olive oil so that we can, that was actually more than a little bit, and that was an accident. So make sure you only add about 1 tablespoon. This is just going to help us spread those seasonings all over our chicken and get each piece well coated. And this is what your chicken should look like once it's all seasoned, and we're going to set that aside so that we can measure and rinse our rice. This is the strainer I'm using to rinse my rice, and that is the brand that I use. I'm using jasmine rice, and I'm using 2 cups. If you want your soup soupier, you can use less rice, or you can use more broth towards the end, and I'll let you know when to add more broth if that's what you want to do. Now I'm going over to my sink and I'm going to rinse my rice until the water runs clear, and then set it on this bowl so that I can finish draining. And now we're doing our soup seasoning blend. The first seasoning I'm adding is onion powder, 1 teaspoon, garlic powder, 1 teaspoon, garlic pepper or regular pepper, 1/2 teaspoon, cayenne pepper, 1/2 teaspoon, and these measurements will also be in the caption, y'all. And of course, if you want more spicy or less spicy, you can adjust the pepper amount that you use. Or that was oregano I just put in, and that was 1 teaspoon. Now I'm adding Kinder's roasted chicken seasoning, 2 teaspoons of this. Up next we have garlic salt, and yes, it has to be garlic salt. Do not put no table salt in here, y'all. That was 1 teaspoon. And for the parsley, just sprinkle some in there. It's just to make it pretty. It has no taste. And now we're going to be adding 1 teaspoon of paprika to give it a nice color. Once all your seasonings are in a bowl, you're going to mix it to make a seasoning blend. And this is what it should look like once it's all put together. Now we're going to brown our chicken. Y'all, I tried so hard to get rid of these shadows and I could not do it, so y'all forgive me. Here I am adding about 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil to a pot. I am using a heavy bottom pot. I'm going to put this on medium-high heat and let it heat up. Once the oil is hot, I'm adding in my chicken and I'm going to brown it on each side for about 2 to 3 minutes. I don't know what it is, but when it comes to making stews and soups, I have to brown my chicken or whatever meat I'm using. I have to brown it first before I just throw it in a pot and boil it. Now 3 minutes have passed and I am flipping my chicken to the other side, and I'm going to let it brown for another 3 minutes. And once my camera focuses, y'all will be able to see how pretty it looks. There we go. So for a total of 6 minutes, I browned my chicken, and that is 3 minutes on each side. Now I'm just removing it and I'm going to set it aside on a plate until later. And you want to use all of that juice and bits in the pot. We're going to use that for flavor for our soup. So do not remove that. Do not clean it out. Now we're going to saute our vegetables. Melt that 1 tablespoon of butter. And your pot should still be on medium-high heat at this point. And once the butter melts, add in the vegetables, and we're going to saute our vegetables for 5 minutes. And I forgot to show the clip of me adding the minced garlic, y'all. So after 5 minutes, you want to add the minced garlic in with the vegetables, 1 tablespoon, and you're going to saute it for another 2 minutes. Now add your chicken back in, and we're going to boil the chicken so that can cook all the way through. And you want to add in all those juices from the plate because we want all the flavor we can get in this soup, y'all. Now I'm going to be adding my chicken broth. I am using 33% less sodium since I'm going to be seasoning the broth. And I'm going to be adding 3 cups of chicken broth. Now I'm just pushing all my chicken down to make sure it's covered in the broth so that it can cook evenly. And then I'm going to cover this and let it boil on medium-high heat for about 15 minutes. I would say 15 to 20 minutes depending on the thickness of your chicken breast, but mine only took 15. And here you'll see me set my timer. After 15 minutes, I'm going to remove my chicken so that I can shred it. Now to shred my chicken, I'm going to be using 2 forks. 1 fork I'm going to use to hold down the chicken breast, and the other fork I'm going to use to pull my chicken apart. Now if you have a hand mixer, you can use that. It's much easier, but for this video I wanted to show how you can shred your chicken if you don't have a hand mixer. And if you don't want yours as shredded, you don't have to shred it as much as I did mine. And this is what your chicken should look like. After you're done with that, we're going to go back over to the pot and put it all together. At this point, you want to reduce your heat to medium, and then we're going to add in more broth. I'm adding 2 cups. Remember, I'm making my soup hearty, so if you want yours a bit more soupy, add more broth. There you just saw me adding that seasoning blend from earlier, and now I'm mixing it together, and at this point you can taste your broth to see if you want to add any other seasonings. After that, you want to go in with the cream of chicken. If you have regular, that is fine. You can use regular cream of chicken, and you're going to pour in the whole can. Now I'm adding my rice. This is 2 cups of rice for me. Again, you can use 1 cup, 1.5, whatever you want. If you want yours soupier or hearty, that's up to you. Now you want to mix this until that cream of chicken breaks down, because it was a big glob and we don't want that just sitting in our soup. So mix it until it breaks down. And now I'm going to add my chicken back in. I did want to let you guys know you do not have to add your chicken back in. It is all the way cooked, so you can add it towards the end if you don't want to add it in again. But I wanted mine to cook with the soup more and absorb some of that flavor. And here's where you really want to see if you want to add more broth. As you can see, mine is pretty thick, so go ahead and add more broth if it's too thick for you. After that, you want to mix everything together. Now we're adding in our bay leaves. You don't want to mix these in, just sit them on top. And then I'm going to cover this and let it cook for 15 to 20 minutes on medium-low heat. I did end up doing 15 minutes at first, then I went back and added 5 minutes because my rice wasn't done. So I let mine cook for a total of 20 minutes on medium-low heat. And this is the finished product, y'all. You want to remove those bay leaves because we're not eating those, and you can throw those out. But we are all done here. I hope y'all enjoyed this. This video got over 3 million views on Instagram, so thank you guys for blowing that video up. Thank you for all your support. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, comment down below, and I hope to see you guys next time. I'm gonna make this right now, y'all.